Are you a fan of like all Atlanta sports team or just like the Braves?
Yeah, I literally have every Atlanta sports team tatted on this arm. This is just everything Atlanta on this arm. Falcons, Braves, everything.
But y'all don't win though.
So Atlanta is more of a hometown type thing. Like I represent my city, so I'm a LeBron fan, so I like to see LeBron win the championship. Yeah. At the same time, I'm a Hawks fan because that's where I'm from. So it's.
I think y'all best chance of actually winning the championship was definitely last year.
There was a lot of.
Because I was playing you earlier, like the East definitely got stronger than me. Like you know what I'm saying, the Heat improved. You still got the Bucks over there. You know what I'm saying, you got Brooklyn. Even without Kyrie, you know what I'm saying, you got KD. Can't count them out. Bulls looking good. Like I don't see the Hawks like really making any noise.
Yeah, last year was probably the best chance because they. Like I told you earlier, injuries. You know, the Nets injuries. Giannis was hurt, like game 4, game 5, whenever that was. And, he came back for the last games and won. But I honestly feel that if they would have made it past the Bucks, they could have played Phoenix better, and they could have probably won.
And I want you to keep it a buck to when I ask you this question. Keep it 100 with me. Was you did you have high hopes for Trey when y'all first drafted him? Or you was kind of nervous, like, oh man, we got Trey. Like, he really just was shooting to be missing.
Couple months of having Trey Young, I said he was a blessing.
Okay, good.
I'll be honest, I keep it 100.
Yeah.
I did not support Trey Young. I just didn't feel him but he was scoring like 10 points a night. Like, I'm just like, okay, yeah, we should have got Luka. But seeing how Trey fit in with the team now, Trey, I think that's the most balanced trade ever in NBA history.
Are you taking him over Luka?
I'm taking Trey over Luka for the Hawks. Yeah, I'm taking Trey over Luka.
That's wild.
Yeah,
they saying Luka like the next LeBron. Like
there'll never be another LeBron.
But I'm saying this was his style. Like
Luka, I like Luka's game, but I don't think it fits really the Hawks. Like the Hawks, 2015? We had Kyle Korver, Al Horford, and we made the playoffs. We had the best, record in the Eastern Conference, and that was without a superstar. That's because they've always been a pass first team. Yeah. So now that the Hawks don't lock down on defense,
do you attend a lot of games?
I'm a season ticket holder. I go to a lot of games.
Y'all really love the Hawks. That's crazy.
I love Atlanta. I love Atlanta.
Okay.
I love the Hawks. That's my hometown team, so I'm always support the hometown team.
So you be going to the Braves games too?
I have been to the new stadium 2 times, but the old Turner Field I used to go all the time.
That's historic too.
Yeah, it is.
They tore it down, right?
They didn't tear it down. They Georgia State actually got it. I think that's Georgia State's football field now.
Okay.
So they kept it. You can't tear down Turner Field.
Yeah. No, I feel it. Did you any fans like college sports teams or UGA?
I went to San Francisco this year.
So. Why you not a fan of Georgia Tech? I'm Atlanta every day.
I went to Georgia Tech actually. So I'm a basketball Georgia Tech fan, but football I've always been a UGA fan.
Yeah.
But Georgia Tech. I got my associates. I did a dual enrollment program in high school. Got my associates from Georgia Tech while I was still in 12th grade.
You a smart nigga.
So, my parents made me do what I needed to, so but I changed my major and still ended up doing 4 years, so that was I'm not gonna say it was a waste of time, it was a good learning experience. But Georgia Tech is definitely hard as fuck. Georgia Tech is a hard school.
Yeah. Do you think they're gonna win the World Series tonight, or is it gonna go another game, or
just knowing the money situation in sports, that's a lot of money they'll miss out on if they don't go back to Houston. So
you think the game is rigged, I
think all sports. For sure. I don't think there's no way the Falcons should have lost in the Super Bowl. That might sound biased because I'm an Atlanta fan.
But it's Brady though.
It is Brady, but for the score to be what it was,
it's Brady though. You talking about the GOAT? That's like saying anybody saying, "Oh man, I should have beat LeBron." It's
LeBron is my favorite player, so to show you
ain't no way somebody you oh man, I should have beat LeBron no matter how LeBron win. It's LeBron. So I don't care how Tom Brady beat y'all. It's fam, it's Tom Brady.
No, that's all. To sound unbiased, LeBron, the 3-1 lead, the historic comeback, fellas ball. Like, I just do. Like, Game 7.
Do you think the players ain't on it, or is it just like commissioner level and the referees level? Like, who do y'all think?
I think players are into it. I don't want to throw out any theories or anything, but I think Michael Jordan's dad was killed because he went buy into the system. I think the whole NBA, NFL, MLB is a system. Like, it's all a system to make money. So I feel they wanted Jordan to throw games and he wouldn't, and I really feel that's what happened to his dad. Like, to be honest, like that's one of the theories I believe in.
Yeah. But so let me just dive into that a little bit more. Like, is it just like the star players that's in on it, or like everybody's basically in? Like, they kind of know, but they can't do anything about it?
I think it's a team thing. Like, I think it's kind of from the top to the bottom type thing because, I mean, if you look at the Houston Astros 2017 won the World Series, they got caught cheating. The only people who were fired were the head people. The players didn't get suspended. There was nothing else going from that because, I mean, I feel all that is part of the system. So, I mean, I think it starts from the top to the bottom. But it's always the top people who have to take the punishment for what happens. So,
no, that's fair. That's fair. I feel you. One thing about the reason I asked about the World Series and Atlanta winning or whatever, I have this little thing about why every spot in Atlanta got like a hookah. Like it's not this is hookah. So I'm thinking like they win the World Series and all the hookah spots is gonna be jumping tonight. Like what? Okay. Why is that a thing? Like why is that really like I go to the barbershop, they got the hookah in the barbershop. Like I'm like, fam, just because like it's gonna be a lineup.
I hate to say it like this, but two things that are always gonna sell, you know, you got hookahs, you got things people want to do, alcohol, and then you have.
But that's like a religion here. Like it's not even like I can go to the homeboy crib, he gonna have the hookah on the patio. I'm like, fam, like, see what I'm saying?
I mean, but okay, if you was to start a business out here, and you know everybody got hookah, you know everybody love hookah, you're gonna put hookah in there, like you just going to. Yeah. So some people go to, you know, places just to smoke hookah. Like in Atlanta, wings and hookah, like they go hand in hand. Everybody got wings, everybody got hookah. So if you start a business out here, you gotta compete with the other businesses. So you're gonna have to have hookah.
Is that like an Atlanta thing? I know like the hookah's been around, but like in Houston, like hookah's a big thing. Like you go to brunch, whatever, there's a hookah. New York, hookah things like that. It's like, do you think Atlanta started that? Is that new? Has it always been in Atlanta, like the hookah type of vibe, or?
I would say people smoke weed more so than hookah. I think that's not really Atlanta culture, but Atlanta has popularized it. Like if you, like you said, if you go anywhere in Atlanta, there's hookah. So I mean, I'm not gonna say they are the original. You know, they originated it, but for sure, I would say that they've made it popular more so.
Yeah, I feel you. I see you got on Adidas or whatever. Is that is that you choose like Adidas over Nike, or is it just like just a fit for the day type of thing?
I literally bought this just for today. Like literally. I had the Yeezys coming in, you know, starting my shoe business up. So had the Yeezys come in, can't wear a Nike fit with Yeezys, so I just literally bought the Adidas fit to wear these shoes, and I'll probably sell them, you know.
Do you think the only reason like Adidas is you know, even have any type of, you know, kind of direction right now is because of Yeezy?
I think he definitely elevated them, but I mean, Nike, Adidas, that's something that'll never go out of style. You still gotta have people who choose Adidas over Nike. Like, it's always gonna be those two heavyweights, you know, I would say.
So you would put Adidas over like Puma and Reebok?
I would say Adidas probably have a better fan base than Puma and Reebok right now.
But I think what Puma is doing is kind of cool though, like with the whole basketball, like leading that, then Jay-Z, you feel me? Like I think like Puma can make a run for Adidas low key. I mean, it'll never take over like Yeezys, right? But like as far as like just the Adidas brand, I think Puma low key. Up there with them.
I have about 4 or 5 pair of the I think they're called the RSXs. They got like the Transformers model, all different type of. They really reinvented themselves. I will give Puma that. I've been rocking with Puma. I don't really see myself wearing Puma apparel. Okay. I would rather wear Nike. I'd rather wear a Nike sweatsuit. But as far as the shoes, I definitely support Puma's movement on shoes.
I see. Did you get in the whole like little dunk thing or something like dunks? Just like it's the year of the dunks. Like did you like dive into that? Amy?
I mean, I've always been into dunks actually.
No way.
From the SB dunks that used to come in the little Dick's Sporting Goods on the paper when they were $65, I was into dunks. But I mean, to be honest, I mean we wasn't having it like that. So the dunks being 65, I mean that was kind of what I had to settle for. So I mean it just worked out. And,
that's crazy. Like if you don't even get dunks retail now for the 100, like you paying like $400 for some dunks. That's insane to me.
And that's honestly the reason why I'm starting the business I'm starting.
Okay.
Resale right now is definitely at a high. Like you paying $400 or $500 for dunks, which retail only at $100, $110 at the most. So my goal. So people use bots. A lot of people know that people use bots to get PlayStation, shoes, all that. So I have access to the bots and a little, Discord I'm in. So what I want to do with my business is go ahead, get these shoes, get them 10, 15 pair of shoes at a time. And these dunks resell for $400 or $500. If I just do it for $200-$300, I'm still making profit on top of
But what's your incentive of doing that? Like if you can get $400 to $500, why would you put your price at $200, $250 when you know like I can get $400? Like what? Like why
I mean, if you build a fan base, if you got something for $500, but only one person is willing to pay that price, I mean you've only made that $500. Compared to if you have 3-4 pair who people buy and you're making $200-$300 profit, you've made more than that $5, and you build a fan base who's gonna want to come back because instead of paying $5, I can go here to him and pay $3. So I mean, yes, I am still adding on. I mean, I probably wouldn't do $200-$300 over if they 100. It really will go based on the resale price. If they going for $500, I may do it for $3. Like you saving $200, so who's not gonna buy that? So that builds your customer base up. And I mean that's being competitive. You gotta have competitive prices.
How did it get to this point though? Like if that makes a lot of sense, but how did it get to the point where shoes are so expensive? Like back in the day, like everybody can get the Jordans and everybody can get them at retail price. Now it's like, fam, you lucky if you get a retail pair of shoes. Like now you going paying $200-$300 more than what you. How did it get to this point?
Sneaker culture. I'm still trying to figure out to this day how it got that bad because, like you said, I can go in the store, Jordan sitting on the shelf, but now, I mean, literally 10, 15 minutes. I actually would say it's the bots because now you don't have to physically go into the store. You can go online because everything is released, on the sneakers app, Nike.com. So you can just go online, have these bots, and literally everything is checked out within the first 2 minutes of release. So now it's supply and demand. Like you don't have these, but you really want these. So give me 500. And once people start settling for that, it just became culture. Like that's sneaker culture now.
Yeah. Do you think the companies are in on it too, or is it just like they just let it go? Like I made that money, I'm going to go. Or do you think they like feed into this culture?
I for sure think the companies. Did you see? I don't remember if she was the CEO or who she was.
Or her son.
Her son. She knows what he's doing. Like, what do you need that many pair of the same sneakers for? She knows he's reselling them.
What's the benefit of them like letting that happen? Because then like you have a true fan that likes buying it directly from the company that's not able to do that, right? Like, so is it just a money thing, or like what? Like, what's their incentive of even doing that?
It's for sure a money thing because the genuine companies like the PS5 craze, the genuine companies. They put, things on their website to prevent bots from, they put captures or, anything to prevent bots from getting it. But then you have, Walmart, for instance, not to throw Walmart under the bus, but Walmart sells out literally within 10 seconds. Like, if you try to get a PS5 on Walmart, it sells out in 10 seconds. So if we can make this money in 10 seconds, rather than make this money with everybody checking out one at a time, why would we complain about that? And I mean, it does make sense on their part being a retailer like that, but at the same time, you're losing good customers because people know they can't get a PlayStation from you. Yeah. So there's a lot of people mad at Walmart who won't shop at Walmart because y'all aren't doing things to your customers who actually want to pay money and, do this, they can't do it.
Yeah, I feel you. I'm going to pause right there. I want to shout out Guidance Whiskey again for sponsoring this interview. Really appreciate them. That's what we sipping on. I'm going to pour up a little more as we get into it. This is good. I'm learning a lot. You definitely put me on game. You want a little more? You straight right now?
It's pretty smooth.
You like that? Alright. For sure. Make sure y'all go get this. It's in stores. You can order online. But if you support the show, make sure you go and check Guidance Whiskey out. So you feel like, have you always been like a sneakerhead, or is it something new that you're getting into?
I wouldn't say I've always been one. I've always liked shoes, but I mean, coming up, like I said, things weren't always as peachy as they may seem like they are now. But coming up, my parents, you know, trying to balance me. I had a little brother. I wasn't able to really get the sneakers. Like I would get probably one pair of shoes a school year, and it's like, but I want these, I want these. I've always, you know, loved sneakers, had a taste for sneakers, and I just couldn't get them. So it's like once I started making my own money, and I could actually do these things, like I would say that's when it came together. I've always technically been a sneaker. I just didn't have the sneakers. But now, like, I literally have just a room on the wall just full of sneakers. Like, and I just think it's because things that I couldn't get then, I go back and get now. Like, I don't know.
How often do you reflect on that? Like, I know that like feels good. Like, how often are you able to sit back and be like, man, I'm blessed, or man, I really worked hard for what I have?
It's actually more than what it should be. It kind of hit more so. I lost my granddad in March, and he kind of like was like the glue to everything. Anytime I needed something that I couldn't get from my parents, I knew I could always go to my granddad. Like, hey, granddad, you know, I want this. I would typically have to wait for Christmas, but he'll make sure I got it. So with him passing, it's just like I really, you know, came a long way. Like when I graduated from Miles, you know, 2016. He bought me a car off the lot. Like he was like, pick any car under, you know, this certain amount, pick any car off the lot, I'll buy it for you. So I was driving around, no car, no anything, feeling like the man. And, you know, I was just like, why am I doing this? Because he was still driving like a 2015 Kia Optima, but this is 2016 and he bought me a 2017 Ford Fusion. So I'm like, you know, I was so used to him doing things for me that I wanted to start doing things for myself. So, you know, I started saving my money, buying the things I wanted instead of asking him. And, you know, got my own car, got everything in my name instead of having to, you know, utilize him. So once he passes, it's like, you know, that was God basically, because literally once I got everything into my possession in my name and all that, new car, new all that, like that's when he passed. And I'm like, I really appreciate him for me not using him, but being able for him to help me in that situation. So
that's real.
Yeah.
Do you think he like still here, like in the spirit? Like, do you still feel him or still remember him and things like that? Are you able to still speak to you with him?
I try not to sometimes think about it. Like literally, whenever I think about him, it makes me emotional because literally he was like everything to me. He got everything for me. Like I would say he was my favorite person on earth. So for him to pass, it really sent me into a stage of shock. So now it's just like, you know, I really have to get my things together because, you know, when I have kids, grandkids, I want to be the person that he was. Like, he put me through school out of his pocket. Like, you know, I stayed off campus. So, like, everything he paid for, him and my grandma took care of everything. Like, I left school with no student loans, no anything. So I want to put myself in a position, which is why I'm starting a business, you know, to build that generational wealth so I can keep his cycle going, you know, me being his first grandson. So I'm trying to keep everything going how he had it rolling.
That's real. Do you ever, how do you instill some of these, like this mindset or things into your little brother?
I would say my little brother really has his head on straight. He's at his age way better than what I was, you know.
And siblings grow up fast too.
They do. He definitely passed me in height, so I think he's 6'3" now. You know, he's at NC State right now playing Division I baseball, you know, projected to go into the draft next year, be a first round pick. So, I mean, he's always had his head on straight because he always had sports to lean on. I kind of drifted out of sports and, you know, leaned towards the streets and all that. But my mistakes are what taught him, you know, hey, you need to do this, you need to stay on track. Like, he maintained a 4.0 throughout school, throughout high school. Same in college, he got, you know, a very high GPA. So him seeing me and my stepdad, like how we handled things, being the men that we were, I feel kept him in a straight line.
That's real. That's real. Let me break away a little bit from that, man, because I was feeling that, man. I think you definitely just blessed me. What's your favorite pair of Jordans?
Jordan 11s, I would say, are hands down my favorite. Jordan 11s.
And they typically release them like Christmas, right?
Pretty much every December.
Yeah. Do you get them like your?
I feel a lot of things are repetitive with Jordan, which is why I kind of
that's what make it like such a brand. Like everybody likes it. Like,
I mean, yeah, I mean, I would say that everybody, even if he releases the same sneaker, I want to say people really.
How's that possible though? Like to release like the same sneaker?
I think it's the hype. It has to be the hype because people really will buy the same shoe over and over just because it's Jordan, and that's why I kind of lean back. I'm like, this is a business thing. He knows people gonna buy it, so he just gonna keep releasing it. So I'm like, okay, let me transition into these companies that's actually trying to make changes. For instance, Yeezys. I have the 450s. I have the Yeezy slides. I have the 700s. Like you get something different in every design, and it's not really something you see everywhere.
Do you think that's the future?
Like
you think
Jordan would never die. Like that's something that's gonna live on forever. Even after him, like Jordans are always gonna be around. But I do feel Yeezy has, Yeezy is more of a hype sneaker, so people literally would get Yeezys off of hype. Like, those are Yeezys, let me get those. But Jordan is a brand that Jordan will always be around.
All right. What's your thought on like designer versus like brands like Jordan or athletic brands?
I actually I had a talk with a black he sells pictures. I had to talk to him earlier. I was downtown at the Georgia Aquarium, and we basically were talking about designers and all the new things that are coming out. So not to really brag or anything, but I've done the designer, the Louis Vuitton. My Instagram name is Louis Vuitton One. Like I've been done the designer brands and all that to where now more so I literally only shop like black owned businesses. So
okay.
I'm always gonna wear Nike because that's more accessible. So I'm always gonna wear Nike. I'm always gonna wear Jordans, Adidas. But I've leaned more so towards black owned companies. So like hoodies, sweatpants, all that. I lean more towards black owned now.
I feel you. What do you feel about the whole trend with some people wearing like the dirty Air Force Ones?
I mean,
is that like a sway? Like you think that's a look, or you're like, man, what are y'all doing?
If you can dress, I really feel you can pull off anything because I would say Yeezys aren't for everybody. But I mean, people who know how to wear them, you can wear them. Like everybody, those are ugly. If you know how to wear them, you can wear them. So with the dirty Air Force Ones, I mean, it's just making a statement. Like your shoes don't have to be clean. People. Like, there's posts on Instagram where girls be like, the first thing I look at is a man's shoes. Like, you can't really base things off of shoes because I might have just came from work for my $100,000 a year job and you don't know that. So, I mean, the dirty Air Force Ones, I just feel it's a fashion statement right now. It don't really.
Would you rock it?
Me personally, no. Okay. I don't like
you
Air
just
Force
did all
Ones.
that to hype it up. You're like,
I feel like maybe the only person from Atlanta who don't like Air Force Ones. I don't wear Air Force Ones.
Why not?
I just don't.
But that's a
like
classic. You like a classic brand like Jordan that releases the same shoe. So that should fit. Air Force One should fit right on there.
You have a point, but at the same time, Jordan may release the same things, but honestly speaking, I would rather, if it's something I like, I'll buy it. But typically, I mean, re-releases, I did get the Flint 7s, which were released, in the past, but I didn't get to get them then. So the new releases, I might get them, but it wasn't something I copped, years ago. People were copying the same sneaker, literally. Like, you got the Flint 13s, and you got the Flint 13s released last year, and you got them again. That don't make sense to me.
Yeah. With your business, would you ever open up a storefront, or would you, want to do strictly online?
I do want to get a customer base, and I do want to open a storefront. It's there's a sneaker store out in Stockbridge called the Sneaker Plug, and just seeing them from where they started, because I literally was there from day one, from where they started to where they are now, to where they have people in the store every day for them, working for them. That really opened my eyes. That could have been me. I love sneakers. I'm selling sneakers now, just off of Face Card. Off of Facebook groups and all that for sneakerheads and all that. I'm just selling on Face Card right now, so it's they look for places to shop with reasonable prices.
Yeah.
So I just feel if I can get my name out there, people can see my prices, and I do open a storefront, I think it could be very successful in Atlanta.
Do you feel like networking is the most important thing in the sneaker industry right now? Because that's the only way you can get your hands on shoes is who you know, right?
Yeah, networking is definitely the most important part of
it. Did that come easy for you, or did you have to really dig into research? Who do I need to know? What groups to join? What discourse need to be in? Like,
Well,
what was that process?
when I first started, like how I said I started building my collection, I would say maybe my junior year in college when I started building my sneaker collection, when I had money coming in consistently. I joined groups then, like Facebook groups. It's a group named ATF, Addicted to All Things Fresh, and you know, people sell sneakers in there. Like that's where you go. People around the community selling sneakers. So that community has grown to thousands and thousands of people. So that's literally where I started. You just take a picture of the shoes, put your name so they know that it's you. You have to verify everything. It's a very safe, you know, transaction. And you basically take a picture, what size it is and what the price is, and you have hundreds of people hitting you up like, hey, I want these. We can meet at such and such at this time. So that started everything. I'm like, this is kind of smooth. Like I'm making, every time I get a pair of shoes, I'm literally selling them same day. So it's like, I can do this for a living. Like that's something I can turn into a business because shoes are always going to sell themselves.
Yeah.
So
how do you feel about like sites like or apps like StockX and GOAT? Do you use them any, or do you like it's trash?
Typically, I mean, if you're anything dealing with sneakers, you're going to deal with StockX because that's how people see how much they're going to list their shoes for. So people will literally buy a shoe, not even their size, literally. And just because they know it's worth money, they'll look on StockX like, oh, the StockX price is $580, give me $540. And people will buy it because it's $40 cheaper. So that's why I envision, I'm like, if I'm selling stuff for $200 less, people were literally thousands of comments over these $40, you know, the $40 discount, what would people do over $200? And it just stuck with me. I'm like, that's what I want to do. Like, and I really think it'll be successful when I actually get everything launched up.
Yeah. Do you think it's like any like beef with like resale, like shoe sellers or whatever? Because if you have a lower price, I'm selling shoes, right? And I see, man, CJ always got the lower prices. Like, you think it's like any beef in there, or any way I would try to come like stop you from getting your shoes or like anything like that? Real, like, is it real beef out there, or stuff like that?
With the group that I'm in, it's ran very well, honestly, because that's most likely where most of my customers will come from. It's ran very well. So if you tell a person you want some shoes and you're meeting them at this location, or if you're selling shoes and you tell somebody, hey, I got you locked in for these shoes, because they'll say, if they want the shoes, they'll say, lock me in. So if you're locked in for a transaction and you flake on that transaction, you're kicked out the group. So you're missing out on money now, you're missing out on shoes. So it's ran pretty well to where in that community, which is why I like it so much, like everything is organized to where if I lock in something, I know it's locked in. So basically if somebody say, hey, you know, are you still selling these? And I'll be like, oh, I got somebody locked in. They'll be, oh, okay, cool. Like it really takes all the pressure away off of selling shoes and all the beef with selling shoes.
I feel you. Let me ask you, let me get off topic a little bit. Is 2K making the same game each year?
I was on record saying this. 2K22 is the best 2K
what
ever made in recent years. 2K this year definitely changed the game.
Like,
even honestly speaking, when 2K21 came out last year for PS5, it is a totally different game than PS4. So this year, with the better dribbling, the better defense,
now the dribbling is pretty dope.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, like,
literally, okay, so if you think about it, if you play online, like Rick or anything, if you play online, all dudes do, they dribble and they run around. It's called speed boosting. They'll dribble and speed boost and try to get open the whole time.
That must be what you do.
I don't do that. I play like, you know, I'm a point guard. I'm a 6'6" point guard. Okay. So I play like an actual point guard. Like I slow the ball down, I do all that. They don't play real basketball. That's why I kind of don't like playing online.
Uh-huh.
I'm more so like playing my player. But they don't play real basketball. They literally run around until they can get open and they shoot. And it's like your teammates are wide open, but you're trying to score, you know, it's just not real basketball. So 2K this year, they made it easier to lock that down, basically. Like if you have the badges or the attributes to lock a person up, you can actually stand in front of that and make them pass the ball. So that's what I'm saying. This 2K22 is definitely the best 2K in a long time.
Mm-hmm. How's did you like playing like the My Career mode on there, or was it?
I dropped 60 a night.
Okay. Everybody dropped 60
I dropped 60 a night.
Yeah.
60, 15, and 10. But yeah, my career is definitely my mode of choice. I would say my career is definitely my mode of choice.
Okay. You get into Madden any?
I stopped. I bought Madden 21 just off of it being Madden, but I don't really too much like Madden. If anything, I would say Madden makes the same game every year.
Mm-hmm.
And Madden has so many glitches. And my first time playing Madden 21, I threw the ball. I had the Chiefs. I threw the ball downfield. It hit off a dude's helmet and bounced like 30 yards the other way. And the dude caught it and ran it in for a touchdown. And I'm like, okay, yeah, this is why I don't play Madden. Yeah. So yeah, I don't really. I'm actually trying to get away from sports games, so I have 2K. Back for Blood just dropped. That is a very dope game. Mm-hmm. I've been on Back for Blood the last couple of days, but 2K. I'm trying
any like Call of Duty, anything like that.
I know it's a new one that's about to drop, but I have the current one, and I play Call of Duty. It's pretty fun. Uh-huh. Like once you learn how to play online, because if you don't know how to play online, it's over with. Yeah. So once you learn how to play online, it's pretty dope. So I'm not gonna say I get it every year.
You go into Warzone or you multiplayer?
Multiplayer.
Okay.
And I'm not gonna say.
Me too. I like multiplayer.
Yeah. Warzone.
It's cool though. It's cool for what it is.
It's cool, but
I do like a little quick. Let me get a multiplayer. Let me get a few rounds in.
You know I'd rather team deathmatch. Kill confirm. Right. I just want to go around shooting people, and then when I die, I want to come back up. I don't want to go to the gulag or whatever. Yeah. I don't want to go there. I just want to. Yeah. Shoot and pop back up when I respawn. So especially when it shows you where the person killed you from. So especially when somebody killed me, I make it personal. Like I gotta come kill you, So that's what makes it interesting.
I feel you.
I'm starting to feel this guidance, man.
Yeah. I got a few more questions for you. Let me ask you this one. CLB or Donda?
Certified lover. I'm a certified lover boy.
You look like you like Drake too, huh?
I mean, I'm a Cancer, man. I'm very emotional. So
yeah.
I think overall Drake had a better album. Kanye is always gonna be legendary. He's always gonna be one of the top artists. But I just think, Kanye's is tougher because Kanye produces also. Yeah. So I would give him that edge of you are making music and you're producing. But as far as Drake, I just feel he makes better music that people relate to. Uh-huh. So I just think people relate more to Drake. So I would put CLB over Donda.
Yeah, I feel you. But with Donda though, people relate to that, like losing, that was about his mom or whatever, losing someone very close to you, and then being able to express yourself, being creative, putting it into your music. So I think people related to that too. But for me, like if someone asked me that, I would say CLB just because it's Drake. It's like literally the biggest artist in the world. But I did like the project from Donda. Like it was like some top work of Kanye, like a top 3 album for me of Kanye.
I would say that too. I just want to put it over Drake. I
know a little bit that you kind of make music. Do you produce your own music or do you like rap it as well? Like how does that process?
I typically don't produce like the beat. Recently, I've been trying to get into it. I have a song that I'm probably about to drop within the next 2 weeks. Typically don't produce it, but this song I kind of got the beat from someone, but I added my own like mix to it basically. I sampled Wicked from Juvie, the one where he was in jail. I sampled that, slowed it down, put it over the beat, and it came out way better than I thought. So I'm working more so on producing my own stuff so I can own everything. Uh-huh. And I'm hoping to drop another EP soon, probably within the next couple of months.
Yeah. I knew I was supposed to ask you about gaming when we was in that segment. Do you stream any?
I want to start, honestly. You remember Tuck? Of course you remember Tuck. So we had a guy who we were playing in Rec, and I guess he streams, and somebody messaged Tuck like, hey, you need to start your own streaming channel, and Tuck dropped like 50 that game. So
Tuck streams?
He doesn't yet, but that idea came to both of us, and we like we should stream. Okay. I'm not out there dropping 50 like Tuck. Tuck is the shooter on the team. It's me, Tuck, Kevin, Stan, and typically Prince. Okay. And Tuck dropping 50. He's the shooting guard. I'm the point guard, so I'm more so trying to facilitate. But I'm dropping 16, 15 assists. Yeah. So
a little Chris Paul night.
Just a little double. Yeah. I don't get no rebounds because Stan's 7 foot, so I don't get rebounds even though I'm 6'6". But I'm like, okay, we should stream. Like, we should do a team stream, because when when you do things with multiple people, fans have their choice of who they, like better. So that I think that makes it more productive. So we've thought about actually starting to do a stream.
Okay, that's hard. That's hard. This is my last question. Well, second to last question. If I wanted to get a pair of shoes from you, how do I go about doing that? Do I just like message like I want this, or do you have to like post what you have? Like, how does that process go?
So I just actually last week created my Instagram page. It's Kicks Go Crazy.
Okay.
Crazy with a K, and it's on Instagram. I just literally started the page last week, and on there you can just DM me, tell me, hey, I want a pair of shoes. In the bio, I think it says, if there's a release coming out, let me know by a certain amount of time and I can try to get it. Like I said, I have access to the bots that everybody are using. Some of the bots do specific sizing, some do random sizing. So if it's a specific sizing, you tell me, hey, I want these Yeezys that come out next month, a size 7, and they do specific sizing, I can be like, okay, I can get those for you. I can check the StockX price. If it's 400, I'll be like, okay, just give me 250. But if it's random sizing, I mean, it's a chance that I won't get your specific size. So it would just have to fall into where, because I can pretty much get every pair of shoe that's coming, or I can get every shoe that comes out. It's just a matter of if it's going to be specific sizing or random sizing.
I feel you. All right, and the last question I got for you, you sitting down with, the Vibes interviews, and so I want to give you the opportunity to let us know the vibe. So your last statement, anything that you want to say, anything about your business or anything like that, let us know, what the vibe is.
Follow me at Louis_V_Junior on Instagram. RP to my granddad, I say that everywhere that I speak now because he did so much for me. And, I'm glad you have me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, man. Thank you so much, man. I'm really glad we got to do this. Like I feel like this was really dope, man. I learned a lot about you. I think people are going to be really interested. I think you have a really great business and a good thing going, man. I'm definitely going to support. So I really appreciate you sitting with me, man. And just for the road, let's get one last shot into this guidance. Since she's sitting down with me, man, we got to do it right. And shouts out to them. Like I said, man, if y'all support the show, make sure y'all check out Guidance Whiskey. My boy already over here leaning or whatever. But thank you, man. I really appreciate you coming on.
Of course.
And good luck with everything, man. I know it's gonna jump, man.
Take, let's go. Set, let's roll. Straightening, straightening, straightening. Yeah, straightening, straightening, straightening.